Our San Antonio Spurs are finally back in action tomorrow night. Can they turn the season around?
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports, a much-needed break for our Spurs, and quite honestly, a much-needed break for me. And the question is, can the Spurs make a playoff push? I'll answer that in a few moments, but caught an article from Air Alamo this morning that said, with the NBA All-Star break now behind us, we can turn our attention back to the San Antonio Spurs. Despite adding star De'Aaron Fox before the trade deadline, our Spurs are just 2-3 with him, and his addition has raised questions about the team's rotation going forward. Interim coach Mitch Johnson has come under fire for his confusing rotations. He has. We have discussed this on the channel. Some of that includes continuing to start Chris Paul when Fox made him redundant with the opening lineup and having Stephon Castle come off the bench, even though he is looking increasingly like the Spurs' third best player. Dare I say Castle by the end of the year might be our second? Well, Fox will probably still be all right. You know what? Third best player. That's fair. And you know what? The CP3 starting thing is going to be a hot topic, I think, for the rest of the season. Even if the Spurs make the change, there's going to be fans that will question it, especially if it doesn't work out well. And I want to let you know, I get both points of view. Castle is a big part of our future. There's that. But then there's also the Spurs made an agreement if Chris Paul came here that he would start. Half a dozen or 1-6 in the other. You know, they're clashing with one each other. I personally hope Chris Paul steps back and says, you know what? I'll come off the bench, coach. A lot of you guys said that probably won't happen because of his ego, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to follow this. It is what it is. All right, Kevin O'Connor, done with you, moving right along. The current 10th seed in the Western Conference is projected to win 42 games, but the Spurs only have 23 wins at the moment. 23, though. Hey, that's more than the last two seasons. There's a positive. That means they would need to go 20-10 to close out the season to ensure they can get that play-in tournament. Whew, I love our Spurs, and I'm optimistic and realistic, but 20-10 in the last 30 games? I don't know if that's possible. I hope the Spurs prove me wrong, but 20-10, that's about a 66% win percentage. That means to be playing as well as Memphis or Denver. Hey, you know what? They played better at the end of last season. Maybe lightning can strike twice. As we move along, it likely wouldn't take much to fix San Antonio's issues with the rotation. Johnson would start by moving Castle into the starting five and shifting Paul to the bench. That will give our Spurs a drastically improved starting five. Drastically improved? Would it? That's something for a discussion. With Fox, Castle, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and Victor Wembanyama, it would definitely give us more size out there. CP3 is like 6 foot, and Castle's 6'6", so it would definitely speed up the lineup. Next, that's what they talk about right next, so let me just jump ahead of myself. That unit have both the speed and athleticism, with Fox and Castle able to attack the rim and also force turnovers on the end of the floor. Additionally, Castle's improved shooting over the last dozen games makes for more of a seamless fit playing off ball while Fox or Wemby creates. His shooting has gotten better. That's a good thing. A bench unit, well, TSR, move your text up so we can read it here, bro. A bench unit of Paul, Julian Champagnie, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, and spot minutes from Charles Bassey when he gets healthy, or Bismack Biyombo would make more sense. Can I just throw another name in there? Why always forgetting about Sandro Mamakele-Strelli? Can we throw Mambo in there? Some backup minutes maybe if needed? Anyway, that would give the second unit a playmaker who can set up players who can't necessarily create their own shots for easy opportunities, which is most of those guys there. Ensuring the Spurs don't blow leads. I've said it before, sitting in the second unit really could use some leadership out there, and who better than Chris Paul, the point guard. The Spurs need Johnson to adjust his rotation and give him the best chance to win. Starting Castle, having Paul run the second unit, and having either him or Fox on the floor at all times would be a great start. The Spurs need to make up ground in the standings, and these adjustments could help them do just that. All right, so let me circle back to what we were talking about earlier. Can the Spurs make a playoff push? And it's not just a matter of putting Castle into the starting lineup and Paul, coming off the bench and then, oof, now we're a playoff team. No, there's a lot more going on than that, but that is certainly going to be a focal point from a lot of NBA analysis, websites, etc. for the time being. I like to be optimistic, but probably not. If they're right that we need to go 20-10 in the last 30 games, that's 10 games above 500. The best stretch we've had is 2 games above 500. That's asking a lot from our team. Now, granted, De'Aaron Fox was not with the team before the All-Star break, and anything's possible. And if the Spurs do play that well, 20-10 the rest of the year, that would be incredible to have that many more wins than losses. But it's probably not going to happen. But the Spurs could make the rest of the season interesting, continue to develop, and take the steps and growth needed to be a playoff team next year, which I think they will be. I think we have the pieces in hand. We are missing a few components we've talked about a lot on this channel before. We have 2 first-round picks, probably a lottery pick with ourselves. Atlanta, I don't know what the heck's going on with them. Maybe they'll make the play-in and hopefully they lose their play-in game. They become a lottery team again. But there's a lot of good here. It's just we have a lot of good puzzle pieces, but they're just not coming together to form the puzzle yet. That a good analogy? I don't know. One other bit of news that I caught. Thank you, Miss TSR, for sending this to me. Guess who's back in the NBA? Back again. Lonnie Walker. Hey, congratulations, former San Antonio Spur. He signed a 2-year, $3.7 million contract with the 76ers. He's a Pennsylvania native. The Sixers are a mess right now, and I hope he gets substantial playing time. Lonnie was a really fun player to watch. We saw a lot of potential, but just never really got over the hump. He'd have those games where he'd get 20 points and just attacking the rim, looking like the most athletic Spur out there, or he was the most athletic Spur out there, hitting, draining threes left and right, and the next game he dropped 2. And maybe some of the players we have on this roster right now are Lonnie Walker-esque. And what I mean by that, and no shade to Lonnie, is, they have that stretch of good games, but then they have that stretch where they disappear for 5 games, and, you see potential, but the potential never actually comes to realization. Lonnie, I wish you the best, and good luck in Philly. Hopefully he plays well there. I'm really rooting for him. All right, whoops. There we go. All right, so that's all I got. Drop a comment down below. Are the playoffs possible? I think a lot need to change with the rotations. We're going to need a lot more consistency out of players like Devin Vassell and Kelvin Johnson. And no, I'm not expecting Devin Vassell to go out there and drop 25 a night, but he needs to play better. We also have to look at the fact, though, and some of you brought this up, that with Stephon Castle's points per game going up, there's only so many points to go around, especially with De'Aaron Fox being there now as well. There's only so many points to go around. Maybe Vassell won't be that 20-point per guy, and Kelvin Johnson, I'm not asking for 20 a game or 22 a game like he did when he led the team a couple years ago, but I'd like to see him be a little more consistent, not dropping 4 or 5, and a bunch of single digits. He's supposed to be the spark plug off the bench, be the spark plug. I'd like to see Jeremy. There's a lot to be fixed with the team, and again, I think we have a lot of good puzzle pieces, but they're not meshing at the moment. Did Mitch Johnson figure it out during the All-Star break? Guess we'll find out tomorrow night, right? We'll be live for the game against the Phoenix Suns. I want to say 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I think this is also a nationally televised game. Of course, we'll be live for that. Hopefully, we can start turning the season around. But thank you all. Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our Austin Spurs community. Thank you. And wait, did I say comment? I did. I just totally got lost in thought. Oh, the Anthony Bennett video will be up on Friday. I finished, he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest bust of all time. I had a lot of fun going into his career, and I'm really hoping to start getting these up about 3 weeks, every 3 weeks if possible, especially when the offseason is. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you. Go Spurs, go.